Yeah, I can justify this. And I believe in what you. And then she gave me another discount. I can't remember. So I got it down from 700 to 539.
7.
What?
Still, that's
Expensive.
Oh, you want to start? Call the meeting to order. Steve Gold, the Director of Communications, informed us to get started. We'll have a roll call, please. Trina.
Gunther,
Here.
James,
Here.
Johnson,
Here.
Rhodes,
Here.
Simmons.
Mark, shall we do a resolution?
Please, Mayor. Yes, Commissioner Simmons informed me earlier today that she's out due to illness.
Is there a motion to accept that
So moved.
absence? Second. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same. Motion carries. Hope she gets well. Mark the agenda.
Mayor, I have 2 replacement resolutions at your table, and I'm happy to go.
Mayor, can I plug?
I'll get it. You sit still. You'll get it.
I can go over the changes when they come up.
Now, Amanda, can we do the Pledge of Allegiance?
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The minutes from last meeting are in your packet. So I hear a motion for the approval of the minutes of the March 2nd meeting.
So moved. Second.
Additions, corrections, any changes to the minutes as they were written? Hearing none, all in favor of the minutes say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Minutes are approved. No special orders, but we have an informational update today. The Charter Revision Commission, led by Jennifer Cochran, has asked to come give us a progress update. Please.
I feel so. Is this thing on?
Pull her down. Yeah, do it.
Can everyone hear me? Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners, Mr. Attorney, Mr. City Manager. It's good to see everyone. And I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you this evening, bring you kind of up to date on where we are at with charter revision. So first, if I could just start by reminding everyone why we're doing this in the first place. Our previous charter was 12 years old. It is now 14 years old and was determined to be in need of updating and revising. Several of the sections were outdated and or just no longer relevant to the working of city government at this time. Our objective was to thoroughly review the document and propose changes that would bring it up to date and that would allow the city government to operate more efficiently and be more nimble in the face of more immediate challenges. We're also mindful that the charter needs to reflect community values. So let me first just kind of recap our timeline. We began our work in November 2023. We have been working for the past 2 years on the revising process. We have included input from a variety of sources, including department heads and staff, including the treasurer, city manager, director of public works, Big Rapids Public Safety Fire Department, among others. We've had input from the public via responses to a survey that we posted, as well as a picnic that we held last summer, and emails that they have sent directly to us. And we have had legal consultation, particularly, obviously, for the legal stuff. Okay, we finished our revisions this past December and sent the document to our legal consultant for a final check. He had in his possession a checklist provided by the Attorney General's office, which we used to make sure that we had all of the requisite state required materials in there. And then we gave that to him about a week before Christmas. He returned the document to us in mid-January. We went through it one more time to check dotting our I's and crossing our T's. And then we sent it, along with a variety of required documents, to both the Attorney General's office and the Governor's office around January 20th. We have received email notifications from both of those offices that our materials have been received. Our goal is to get the proposed charter on the ballot for this coming November's election. There is an outside possibility that we might make the August election depending on when we get our materials back from the AG and the governor and if we have to make any changes to it or not. So let me just kind of walk you through 3 levels of changes that we made. I can have some specific examples to illustrate, but I do recognize that you have a very full agenda this evening, so I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet. Okay? The first category of change that we made is actual revising. That entails revising sections to reflect procedural changes based on input by city staff. In some cases, what we did was to remove some actions from the charter to the city manager and or the city commission. And other revising included removing sections that were simply not relevant. A simple example of this would be the preamble, which is that very introductory blurb that goes with the document. Because the charter is meant to reflect community values as well as meeting state requirements, we felt the preamble should be expanded a little bit to make sure that we included terms that reflected the community's values. So we included those terms and we garnered them from the public input that we received on the survey. Arguably, I think, and anyone in the room who was part of this process will recognize this, the item we probably spent the most time actually revising was Chapter 8, Section 8.10, the purchasing procedures. This was a tremendous experience and learning experience for me, I must say. This was really talking about how the sausage gets made, I think. City staff came to us with multiple examples of how this section no longer serves them well. For example, it capped the amount of money that could be spent without coming to the city commission for approval at $7,500. That limit was set in the previous charter in 2012, and needless to say, current costs have far exceeded that cap. Another issue was the wait time to get a request before the commission, given their twice-a-month meeting schedule. And lastly, there was an issue of when to waive the requirement for competitive bids. So working with the department heads and department staff, we determined that a more responsive procedure would be to remove the details of purchasing and contracting from the charter to ordinances written by the city commission. This enables the city commission and the city government to make necessary changes in a more timely fashion without having to go through the arduous and time-consuming process of amending the charter when you need to make those changes. It's far easier to amend an ordinance rather than to amend the charter. We removed the hard cap of $7,500, and rather than setting a fixed cap, we prescribed that the amount allocated in the ordinance for purchases made by department heads was not to exceed 0.25% of the budgeted operations expenses of the general fund for that fiscal year. We also prescribed the limit on which purchases could be made and contract services entered into by the city manager in accordance with the approved budget without the need to seek commission approval, and that was not to exceed 0.75% of the original budget operating expenses for that fiscal year. Lastly, this ordinance of which we speak must be reviewed annually at the same time that the city commission approves the budget, so that we've linked those two procedures together so that it gets an annual review and it can be updated as necessary depending on what your budget is for that year. Okay, that was probably the most extensive one that we did in the charter. Other things that we revised, Chapter 3, Plan of Government, Establishing City Boards, Section 3.3, we expanded the length of term from 3 years to 4 years, included no more than 4 consecutive full terms for any given board member. And the rationale for this was basically addressing the challenge of having sufficient members on any given board and their need to meet quorums. So again, it was a little more flexible. Chapter 5, Elections, the terms of elected officials. Paragraph number 3, we did something that we have been talking about for a little time now, and that is that we separated the terms for city commissioners and the mayor. They are still 4-year terms individually. There's no change for city commission members. They are still able to serve 3 consecutive full terms, and then we determined that the mayor's office should have 2 consecutive full terms. Again, these changes were based on the discussions of the CRC and the input from the public, which strongly supported this plan. Chapter 9, taxation, section 9.10, collection of fees and interest for the purposes of clarity for the public. We spelled out specifically the details of payment for summer and winter taxes and their respective due dates. We also included clear calculations regarding the treatment of late payments so that it was consistent, everybody was clear about it, and there should be no question, we hope. A second category of changes that we made were updates. Again, where it is not prescribed by state statute, we changed the number of board members on certain boards and made start dates for the boards a little more consistent. One example of this is the Parks and Recreation Board membership, and this was brought to us by members of the board, one of whom was on the CRC. In order to ensure the likelihood of a quorum, we changed the membership from 9 to no fewer than 7, no more than 9. Again, giving them some flexibility in terms of how many members on the board so that they could achieve quorum more easily. And last but not least, we addressed a number of readability issues. I don't know if any of you have ever bothered to look at the charter beforehand. It could be a little bit challenging, so we rearranged some subsections under chapter titles to improve coherence and continuity of the subject matter. We reformatted away from the 2 columns that had been the form of the charter since I've ever seen the charter. We really just felt that that was a much more readable way to present. We formatted subheadings for consistency, addressed a number of things at clarity at the sentence level. We got rid of a lot of unnecessary verbiage. We used active voice whenever possible. We used a consistent form of pronouns throughout the document to indicate gender neutrality. We went to our legal consultant to offer us a consistent format for legal references so that we were using the same thing throughout, and a consistent form of chapter titles and subheads in the table of contents. Okay, now this is not necessarily all the changes that we made to the charter, but it's a good representation of the various kinds of things we did. While we're waiting for news from Lansing, we are working on devising strategies for familiarizing the public with the charter, why we needed to revise it, and the changes that we have proposed. I am happy to entertain any questions. If you want to take time during the meeting or after at a later time, you want to send them to me in email, I'd be happy to answer that as well. I just want to conclude by saying that this has been a tremendous learning experience for me, and one that I am grateful to have had the opportunity to participate in, along with working with a really great group of folks. I couldn't have asked for a better team to be working with me on this charter revision, and I just want to give them a shout out. So thank you for your time.
Jennifer, the only question, when I read the revisions, the only question I had, the percentage, say the city manager, 0.75% of the general fund budget that year. That's the ceiling, correct?
Yeah.
The commission could vote on the ordinance that year to even make it less than $7,500. Anything below about $75,000, way I figured it. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
I'll tell you
I
a little.
wasn't sure of that exact detail, but if we said, no, we like it 7,500, this commission could say, this year it's 7,500, correct?
It would be, it's the percentage, if 7,500 is within that 0.75%.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, usually the general fund's about 10 million, Mark.
I think that's
Means
good ballpark.
0.75% is about $75,000.
Yeah.
So I mean, that seems like a number we should be able to come up with somewhere under there.
Well, and certainly ideally, as you have gone through your CIP process and you have a good sense of what's coming down the pike in terms of projects, equipment that needs to be purchased, if you're anticipating needing to replace things or whatever, I'm hoping that this will give you a little more flexibility. I'll tell you just a quick little funny, because we are, with the exception of Stacy on the commission, we are not any big math whizzes. And Michelle may appreciate this, I think we almost gave Carla a heart attack. We originally came to her with 1% and 5% of the budget.
That's a lot of money.
And she says, no, don't do that. So that was very, very good that we had Carla's input that day, so anyway.
Does it spell out there, Jennifer, that if a commissioner does 12 years, they can take 2 years off and then start another 12 years?
Actually, it's just 1 year.
1 year?
Yeah,
But
you
there's
just
not an
need to be
election
off
in
the
a year,
commission
though.
for 1 year. And then, depending if there's an election coming,
Usually not, yeah.
usually not, yeah,
Usually 2 when you get there. Is that
Exactly.
correct still?
that's correct, and that remains.
Okay, but for clarity, if you had a commissioner that ran for 12 years, when you say you separated the mayor and the city commission, so at the end of 12 years, if they wanted to run for mayor,
They could.
They
they could
could,
immediately run for mayor,
they
correct?
could, correct.
And vice versa. The mayor
I think
finished
so.
2
Yeah,
terms,
correct.
could immediately run for city commission if they so desired. Okay.
Good, thank you.
Okay,
Those
thank
are
you
the
very
two
much.
I had after reading. Anyone else have a quick one for Mrs. Cotton? Thank you very much for coming, appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Study session today, Bill Sell will lead us in a study session on the Public Safety Youth Academy. Please, Bill.
Good evening, everyone. So we've been doing the Mecosta County Youth Academy since 2021. We started it, I got to know Brian Miller when I started here. When he went to go become sheriff, it was something that he and I talked about that we really wanted to do together, something for the youth. So in 2021, we decided to get together and we started the Mecosta County Youth Academy. It's to give youth the idea of kind of what we do on a day-to-day basis between police and fire, just public safety all the way around. It's for 12 to 14-year-old youths, and to date, we've served just about 70 kids. So we have a daily schedule. Each day starts out with PT. Officer Torres and now Captain Bethany Hamilton, they lead the kids and do PT for an hour. On Monday, we end up going to Eagle Village. They do a team building activity basically where they go and do a bunch of team building and then do the ropes course and everything there. So it's a fun day for them. On Tuesdays, we do a law enforcement day, which is we do traffic stops, some mock traffic stops. They do DT. They learn about some firearms things, do some fingerprinting, things like that. It's a fun day for them. On Wednesday, they go to the courthouse. They do a tour of the courthouse and a tour of the jail. Probably one of my favorite days for them because they get to eat jail food. We provide lunch for them every day, but Wednesday they get to eat jail food, so it's always a highlight for them. Thursday is the firefighter physical ability test, which it's a great day to see them because we really push them. I mean, Chief Shorter can talk about it too. He's seen it. Those kids, they will give their all to do this, and it's pretty amazing to see what they can do. And then on Friday we do the MCOLS physical abilities test where we run them through what it would take to become a police officer too. And then in the evening we do a graduation for them. We've had several youth that want to return. They come back and do it. This is Maya in the picture here. She actually came back, I think, for 3 years or 4 years. She just graduated high school now, so she won't be coming back. But what we a lot of times will have them do is come back and take pictures and things like that for us so we can still serve. We usually try to get 14 or 16 kids and then have 1 or 2 helpers come back. We do actually have a good success story. So that's Teddy on that one side over there. That's our first year that we did it in 2021. He came and he was really excited to do it. This past year, he got sworn in as a corrections deputy at the sheriff's office. It's really a group effort. Not only does the police department, but the sheriff's office, MSP, the DNR comes out and helps. Barrington PD comes out and helps sometimes. The fire department, Mecosta County EMS, Newaygo County Sheriff's Office, and Mount Calm Area Career Center come out and they bring their Milo out. So they have a portable, it's a shoot, don't shoot scenario based thing where the kids can actually sit and interact with somebody that's on a screen. And it just teaches them to be able to speak and things like that to people. So how you can apply is the Academy this year is June 15th to 19th. If you go to the bigrapidsdps.org website, you can click in there and there's a link for it where it'll just take you right to an application. We ask that they complete the application, give us a letter of reference, give us their latest report card, and pretty much everybody gets accepted. I think I have 9 applications right now for the Academy that's in June. We ask that I have all the applications in by the middle of April, basically. So I have some flyers here for everybody if everybody wants one. If you know anybody that would be interested in doing it. Otherwise, I don't know does anybody have any questions?
Bill, is there much expense involved, Bill?
Well, the sheriff's office ends up getting a grant from the Mecosta County Foundation. So we usually get a grant for about $2,500. And that's about all that it costs. Because like I said, we do end up buying lunch for everybody. You can see in here they're all wearing t-shirts. These are all the classes that we've had so far. We provide them now with 2 of the yellow shirts because that's what they work out in. And then 1 of the black shirts. And then lunches. I mean, that's pretty much our expense other than staffing.
Do you tie this at all to Joy Paquette's program at the ISD?
Yeah, we've tried to. She also has a Milo, but it's not a portable one. So this year, actually, the guy that we bring in from Mount Calm, he's going to be out of the country at the time. He's going to be Costa Rica or something. So we're not going to be able to use their Milo. We're hoping that either we can go over to the Career Center or down to Ferris and use theirs.
Milo is.
That's the shoot don't shoot. It's an interactive thing. Yeah, well, we do try. And like Teddy, he had gone to the Career Center over there, and there's a couple of the other kids have gone to the Career Center. Maya was another one that had.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions? Anyone from the audience either? Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, no problem.
Good luck. Have a good
Thank
one.
you.
Public comment not related to items on the agenda. Please, anyone?
Very quick question for you guys. Any thoughts on 250, our anniversary of independence? Anything special planned? Posters, flyers, flags, the typical downtown stuff?
I haven't heard about where that fits in there exactly. I know that the Convention and Visitors Bureau is doing the fireworks this year, and they are looking at a bunch of activities that surround that. I think one of them has a 250 year flavor to it in terms of their celebration, or maybe that's part of the fireworks. I don't know all the activities planned, but they're the ones doing those things for July 4th weekend this year.
Get with them, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Other questions? Anything? Hearing none further, we'll keep moving. No public hearings. We're on to general business. We have a lot of items. The first is a resolution regarding a FOIA appeal. Who's gonna lead the charge on that? Brad, are you going to?
Yeah, I can take the lead in that, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. So back in February, an individual named Stephen Balder submitted 2 FOIA requests to the city. FOIA is the Freedom of Information Act. It's an act that allows members of the public to submit requests to public bodies for copies of records or the ability to come in and copy or inspect public records as they exist. FOIA does not permit or require municipalities or public bodies to create new records of any kind or to compile things differently than they normally do. It just requires them, unless there's an exception, to provide that opportunity to inspect or provide copies of those records to individuals. These 2 requests that came in from Mr. Balder are in the memo that I think you all were providing in your packet. Essentially, he was asking for copies of visits and conversations that he had at City Hall in his first one. In his second one, he was asking for copies of my conversation with Mark Gillard, presumably meaning Mark Gifford, and with the city attorney, me, I've never met or spoken with Mr. Boulder. So when these requests came in, we sent them through the normal process, which is the city clerk, who is the FOIA coordinator for the city. We worked with her on a response letter that went out on February 17th, which was compliant with the deadline under FOIA. And that letter denied the requests because the records simply don't exist, and it wasn't a proper request under FOIA because it was asking for visits and conversations, not existing public records. So based on that, we denied the request, the city denied the request. Mr. Balder submitted an appeal, which is his right under FOIA. That came in just about a week or so ago. And so now it is the city commission, as the head of the public body's job under FOIA to review that appeal, review the FOIA request and response, which you had, and then render a decision as to whether to grant the appeal, deny the appeal, or grant in part, deny in part the appeal. Based on what I just told you and what was in the memo, our recommendation as the city attorney is to deny the appeal. And then Mr. Balder, if he wishes, can take it to the courts as the next step. If Mr. Balder is here, I don't see him present, but if he were, he would, should be given an opportunity to speak. Otherwise, it would be up to the commission to review everything, consider the appeal. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And then I've got a proposed resolution in the packet that you can consider to deny the appeal.
Thank you. Is Mr. Boulder here for a response? I don't know him, so I don't know if he's
He's
here.
not here, Mayor.
Okay. Then I would entertain a motion for a resolution denying the FOIA request for Mr. Boulder.
So moved.
Second.
There's a second. Further questions? Anyone? Questions? First time for me for this event. Probably never happened before, has it? I don't think so. Anything? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote, please. Trina?
Gunther. James.
Yes. Did you answer?
No, I never go first. She threw me.
But she went right on to me, so maybe she didn't care.
I realize I wasn't
Yes, I'm in
supposed to
favor
ask
of the
you first.
resolution, yes, for me.
Yes, for me.
I can hardly hear you, Trina, so you gotta.
Okay. James.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Simmons. Gunther.
Yes. Thank you. The motion passes. Who we are obligated to inform him, I saw in the policy.
Yes, the city is obligated to provide written resolution, so a copy of the resolution that was just adopted should be transmitted to Mr. Balder, and we can do that through the attorney's office.
Within 10
So-
days.
Correct, yep. So we will, if Trina could send a copy to my office, I'll make sure that he gets a copy of that.
Thank you. Next, a resolution on mayoral appointments to the Housing Commission. Housing Commission's board is appointed by the City Commission. This year, Jane Williams' term is expiring. She would like to be reappointed to the Housing Commission. Any comments or questions regarding that appointment, or reappointment, I should say? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to appoint Jane Williams to the Housing Commission?
So moved.
Second.
Further questions? I see a Housing Commission member back there. Comments, questions?
I'd be in support.
Thank you. Thank you. Trina, better roll call it, I think.
Johnson.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Simmons. Gunther.
Yes.
Yes.
James.
Well, at least she's going back and forth.
Next, you guys will inform Jane and the Housing Commission, please. Department of Safety Fire Division authorizing the renewal of a contract with Green Shutter Township and authorizing the renewal of the Norwich Township Fire Agreement. First, do I hear a motion for the resolution to approve the Green Township Mutual Fire and Medical First Responder Contract?
So moved.
Second.
And a second. Questions, comments? Steve?
No comments, we're happy to provide the service.
Just out of curiosity, do they pay what they're supposed to pay on an annual basis?
It is my understanding they do, from the
Yes.
church office.
For both of them?
For both of them, yes.
Thank you.
Very good. Roll call, please.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Simmons. Gunther.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Next is a resolution for the Norwich Township Mutual Fire Agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Questions, comments? Norwich, you've had a long time too, Steve?
Yeah. Yes, we have.
Many years.
Many years, yep.
We met with their supervisor earlier. He had no concerns or questions.
That's what I felt too.
Anyone having questions regarding the fire agreement with Norwich? That's in Newaygo County. Please.
James.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Simmons. Gunther.
Yes. So we'll send those, Mark.
We will.
Have they voted on them
They,
yet?
neither have voted. They, both are doing it, I think, at their first meeting or their only meeting in April.
April,
It's
yep.
at the beginning part of the month, so, assuming those will get passed at both, which we think they will, then we'll, get those finalized.
Both supervisors do have copies of the one you just approved.
Thank you, Steve. Next, we're going to go to Public Works, resolution authorizing the renaming of Glen Elm Court to Simon's Court in the city street system. You read Mark's memo on that, it's a little bit confusing, but we named a road out in Sandy Acres, Glen Elm, and then we realized we named the alley behind Simmons Glen Elm. Can't do that. Mark?
That's a good
That's it,
summary,
right?
yeah.
Somebody gotta change their name. And, the city administration, wants to change the Glen Elm behind Simon's to, what are you gonna call it, Mark?
Simons.
Simon's. Do I hear a motion to
So
change it?
moved.
Second.
Further questions? Trina?
Johnson.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Simmons. Gunther.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Next is a resolution awarding the bids for construction season maintenance, materials, and equipment. Do I hear a motion for that resolution?
So moved.
Oh, second.
Thank you. Questions? Mark, anything new in there?
No, and I thought we got good numbers as you scan through the spreadsheet and compare them to last year. There's some, I would say some minor increases, but a number of the numbers stayed the same as they were. So I was happy with that, but a number of bidders to provide services to the city, we're appreciative of all of them.
Questions anyone has?
So,
Yes.
yes, Mark, thank you. It's nice to see the comparison. But something I didn't see earlier, is that 30 cents a square foot? Is that, what is that .30 SF? What does that mean?
Yes, that's 30
that
cents a
what it
square
is?
foot with a minimum of $4,500.
And that's just the way they bid?
That's the way they bid it,
Okay.
yeah.
Please.
Simmons. Gunther.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Next, have we ever voted on porta potties? I don't remember that in the 6 years I've been here. Just, have we?
Why are we?
Because we had a request from somebody to do the porta potties other than the people who are doing them.
Oh,
And so because of that, we opened it up to bid. Is that right?
Correct, Mayor. We have, because of the nature of how we use them, they're, we take one away or add them.
What is this there to do so, Mark? Gee.
Let me rephrase. Anyhow, so we add a porta john, take one away,
Right.
put one at a certain park. We've never done it in a cumulative way in which we thought, wow, this is $13,000 or $16,000. It never came to our attention about the, maybe the threshold of spending that would cause it to be bid out. We had a local business person, actually, one of the bidders here, say, hey, I would be interested in that business, and we thought the best way to do it then was a public bid, which we have, and the three bidders, Preferred is currently the group that we work with. Routley's is Nick Routley's business that is gonna be on Maple Street, and then United Rentals is out of Kent County, and they are substantially lower than the other two. And we did some reference checking to make sure, and really got very good reviews. So we think we'll give them a try. United Rentals is our recommendation, but
Was Broutleys the one that asked for it to be
it
bid out?
was. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Just so you know, because I didn't know who United Rentals were, they do have a 5-star rating if you Google them. If
Yeah,
you
we-
can
we
believe.
know, and that's what we
see.
heard from the folks that we called.
No
about.
complaints whatsoever.
Yeah.
There were a lot of positive things, so.
United Rentals is everywhere. Anywhere you go, you see United Rentals, porta potties, and yeah, I mean, any disc golf tournaments I've been to in the Grand Rapids area, it's United Rentals usually on the course. And
The,
Do I hear a motion to accept the bid from United Rentals for porta potties? Ron, what are we supposed to call them?
I can't talk about it.
so moved.
second,
I did,
This has portable toilets.
I did have one thing I would like to say. I know that there is, I'm gonna not use the right word because I can't find it in my head. A way for us to kind of accommodate a higher bid if it's a local, like in the city limits. And it's my understanding that the amount that our local bidder is over is substantially higher than what that percentage is. So that would be probably the primary reason why. If anybody else was aware of it, I know when we went out to bid for our garbage removal, we had that discussion. So if anybody remembers from then.
Questions from anyone? Question, please.
Rhodes,
yes.
Simmons, Gunther.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
There'll be a quiz at the end about what you use the porta potty for, Mark. Resolution awarding the bid to Morningstar for Fuller Avenue. Todd Richter?
I'll start, Todd, and then I'll turn it over to you. This is in the portable toilet. Not to go back to it. Resolution was one of the replacement ones, and it is a different account number. But we also have a replacement resolution for the for this particular issue for our Fuller Avenue water main replacement project. And the differences that you'll see come in the budgeting line item call-outs of the account numbers that were increased and decreased to accommodate this bid. So we had 3 bidders and are very appreciative of them being interested in doing work. I have a great bid from Morningstar Enterprises, and we appreciate that very much. It is over what we had budgeted, but it's in the ballpark. Again, we suffer a little bit from the lag in time between when we budget and when we bid. But we're getting, I think, closer. And all the bids were very close to the engineer's estimate, I think, is what we'll hear from Todd. And we are only allowed to spend water funds on the water portion of the project and then street funds on the street portion of the project, although you can replace the road that you dig up to put in a water main with water funds. So that is part of this differentiation is right sizing where the various amounts go in terms of water fund and street funds. And our low bid, $1,109,814.93 is what we would be recommending awarding this evening. But Todd, please, if you have others.
Todd, were you involved, did they bid this before COVID? Or was it almost going out to bid?
No, we did
You
not.
never got to actually.
We have been planning on it for years, never got to the bid portion, but I know we had a comment from one of our city staff saying that the cost over the time of that planning of when we were gonna do it is nearly double, but we've seen that in so many different projects, but yeah, he did say
That's
that
right,
about this one.
the doubling is quite interesting
Yeah.
from 2020 to now.
I don't have too much to add. The bids, as Mark stated,
How long
were,
will that take, Todd? How long will you tie up Fuller?
I think we had set up 3 months for construction on that one.
And will that be usable, or is it gonna be completely bypassed?
It's gonna be detoured, traffic will be detoured, but we will maintain traffic to local, residents and businesses. We did stage the traffic control such that the block between State and Clark needs to get addressed.
That's really.
We set it up first, you know, it'll be in a gravel situation until they pave the whole thing, but we wanna get in, get that block taken care of, get out of the Clark Street intersection, then proceed to the west to minimize that.
But all summer, it's gonna be tied up in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. It is a part width type of construction, so we're replacing the water main on the south side of the road. So the majority of the construction will be on the south side, and then we'll mill and resurface the north side to have a new surface on the whole road when we're all done.
Questions? Yes, Mark?
If the commission awards the bid to Morningstar, I know Scott talked about wanting to get started sort of early or soon, and Todd's organizing a pre-construction meeting to do the needed planning and preparation, but we'll be sure that Steve is well aware of all those timelines and making sure that we get notices out to the people who live along there and the general public who use that area. But I do, if I remember, I think he was trying to get there even in maybe April. Is that true, Tom?
Yeah, he wants to get started, or at least he wants to get his water main purchased so we can
Okay.
lock in that pricing. So it's, if you award tonight, we'll send them a notice of award, and then it usually takes about 3-4 weeks to turn contracts around, so it would probably be mid-April at the earliest.
Okay.
So Steve, we're going to Escott with this,
Yes.
and the nursing homes are all west of Escott? In other words, for fire protection, you sneak to them.
It sounds like they're gonna leave a lane for homeowners, so a lot of times we can get through that as well.
So
Make sure.
the line beyond Escott is not in jeopardy.
Todd can help me remember, when we did the Bailey and Ridgeview project, we did maybe came out into,
That's a newer line
Yeah.
and sufficiently sized. The part of this project, there's an 8-inch line in Fuller right now. We're gonna place a 12-inch line to provide additional system capacity, because that's kind of the connection between the two towers. And it correlates with the work we're proposing on South State Street as part of that water main improvement. So we'll get a nice loop, a 12-inch through there.
Good, thank you, Todd. Thanks for coming up.
Yes.
Vote, please. Did we have a motion? We did?
So
Oh, I
moved.
don't think we did.
So moved.
Second?
James,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Simmons, Gunther.
Yes. Thank you. Next is a completely different item. It's some resolutions that are needed to begin our journey to create a new building department. Is Michelle gonna talk about that?
yes, Mayor, I think a combination of Michelle and Brad to tackle these four.
Whoever wants to go first, fire away.
I'll just, real simply, I mean, the city, has approached us internally in wanting to create its own building department and move away from using the county as its building, department. Back in the day, the city passed an ordinance to give that authority to the county. And so in order to take it back, you have to amend that ordinance, and then you have to establish a new building department, appoint a building inspector, a building official. That person has to be an employee of the city by law. And so even though you are allowed to contract for the services, the building official has to be a W-2 employee. And so we've kind of come up with a system to make that work. And the ordinance that you have in your packet will have to be approved by all four of the commissioners present. And it would both amend the existing code to replace the section that gives the authority to the county. So it would replace that with a new building ordinance that establishes your own building department, appoints a building official, creates an appeals committee, which is required by the statute, and a number of other items that are required by law to be in that ordinance. So that's the big piece, and then there are several resolutions that kind of piggyback with that ordinance to make the necessary appointments to the different boards and of the building official. So is that a good summary, Michelle? If you have more you want to fill in?
go through with who we decided is contracting, if the board's interested. So we interviewed a couple people and, went with a company called AGS, which is the Associated Government Services out of Richmond. They would do all of our building inspections and plan reviews. They have a building official on staff, Nick Keck, who would be our building official. That would also have to be our employee. And then they also helped us establish the fee schedule. So with the fee schedule, they get paid a percentage of the fees, and then we get paid 15% for administrative services. And so those are the two other resolutions that you have, is to contract with AGS and set the fees that they proposed or require to contract with them. And then you also have the Construction Board of Appeals, which is required by the statute to create, and we have 3 members in the community who have volunteered to serve on that Construction Board of Appeals so that we can get moving.
Mark, the 1099, or it has to be W-2 employee, and that will be Keck? It will?
Yes.
But, and how does
But how
that
do-
work?
How do we pay him?
So the agreement,
Paid from the fees, so you did what, $10 a month?
there'd be in the agreement, I think it's 200 a month.
200 or 300 a month, and then they would subtract that out of their regular fees.
Yeah, so you're paying him $200 a month as a W-2 employee, and then that comes out of the fees that would normally go to the company.
In that state laws or anything that says they have to be on the premises a certain period of time or anything?
No, the requirement is basically so that you don't have a situation where you've got a non-governmental person from a contractor making decisions for the governmental entity. It is an ultra vires act. And so that's why they require it to be somebody who would be under the authority of the city to be operating. It doesn't say he has to be on premises or anything like that in the statute.
Okay.
Any questions for Michelle or Brad? Hearing none, commissioners, anything? Then let's do the ordinance first, requires 4 votes.
So, did we move for it?
No.
No, we haven't yet.
Okay, so moved.
Second.
The ordinance amending the city, chapter 150 has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote, please. The ordinance has to be unanimous because one commissioner is absent today.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Simmons, Gunther,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you. Brad, how do you do the timing on that? Because until the state of Michigan approves our building department, we still need the county building department.
Right, so the ordinance, the effective date of the ordinance, if you look at the very bottom of it, it says that it will be effective upon publication or upon the state committee approving the ordinance itself, so whichever is later. So that's how we handle that. So the current ordinance remains in effect until the state committee approves this ordinance.
I have a question. Can the county appeal this or object to this?
No, this would be, the city has the city gave them the authority to take it over, and the city's just retaining or regaining that authority, and we have the ability to do that, so.
We had our own department. I don't know if you all knew Floyd Reichow. You would remember. We old guys remember Floyd. And when Floyd got very ill and his heart completely failed, that's when you went to the county. Right?
Correct.
And that was in,
2003.
very good. And look, we take a roll call on that? Got it? Okay. Next is the resolution to contract with AGS for our plan review and building inspection services. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And a second. Questions?
I'll just add, this resolution is also to appoint Nick Keck as the city's building official.
Questions, anyone? Yes, go ahead.
Just one question, and maybe it was answered and I skimmed over it. We're designating Nick as our person from this company. If we're dissatisfied with Nick, is there a process where we would have them appoint? Like what would that look like?
So you're appointing him as a building official and you're hiring him as an employee, so he is under he's an at-will employee serving at the pleasure of the commission. So if you're not happy with him, you can fire him, and then at that point, you would have to appoint a new building official. And that could be from AGS, or you could find somebody else to contract with.
Thank you.
Because that's by resolution and not by Mark just hiring the person? It's the city commission that would have to act on that, not Mark?
It's the city commission that would have to appoint a new building official. If he's an at-will employee, Mark could technically remove him if it, Mark would be his supervisor, so yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Trina?
Johnson,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Simmons, Gunther,
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Next is the resolution awarding, appointments of 3 individuals to the Construction Board of Appeals. Does that have a maximum mark, or?
I think it has a maximum of 5,
It's 3 to 5.
3 to 5.
Very good. And you saw the names in your book. Do I hear a motion to appoint those people to that board? And to create it too, I suppose, hey?
The ordinance creates it, this would appoint, so yes.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Trina?
Rhodes,
Yes.
Simmons, Gunther,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Michelle, you'll inform those folks.
Yes, I will.
Next is the resolution about the fee schedule set forth from Associated Government Services for plan review and building inspection services. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
The only question I had, Michelle, you threw out the 15% number. That was agreed upon with Bert Gale or Keck or?
With AGS, they told us we were permitted to set whatever percent we wanted.
Why don't you do 50% then?
That would just increase our fees for our citizens.
Well,
The
it
re-
does have to be tied to,
Yes.
it has to be tied to the costs. Or
That's
the-
what I was going.
Yeah, I was gonna add in there that we had a distinct conversation about how much time Michelle specifically and other members of
Yes.
community development would have in relation to processing these permits, and we came up with a 15% estimate, and we could change that over time too, I suppose, if we.
They
asked them.
mentioned that they have, I think, 19 different communities, townships, cities, counties throughout West Michigan, that it's 10 to 15% everywhere they work. So Michelle picked the upper number, and that's good, Michelle. Very good. Did we move it?
I thought we did. Did we move it?
Any questions from the public? Please.
James,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Simmons,
Yes. We're on the road, huh, Mark?
We are.
Unscheduled business for the group.
I have one, Mayor, whenever you're ready.
You're ready.
So, the hot topic in town is the intersection of Perry and State, and,
It's a terrible pothole.
and I know the mayor is definitely getting calls, I'm assuming commissioners are as well. And, so I have some new information that I hadn't even, shared with him this morning. It sounds like, Fenstermacher is gonna come out on Thursday, is what they're targeting, Thursday afternoon, weather dependent, but to try to take his mill, his asphalt mill, and shave off the very, very uneven portions of that. That's a risk reward kind of scenario, because you're taking asphalt away and you're very likely gonna open up maybe other potholes, but that is something we want to try just to smooth it out. We've studied the repair. We have to wait till all the frost gets out of the ground, which is sort of early to mid-April is when they think all the frost would get out of the ground. So you can't fix it until then, per MDOT. And Reith Riley, the local Reith Riley, does not open their plant for production until I think the second week of May, first or second week of May. That seems like a long time from now to suffer through this problem, and it's after or right around the time of Ferris graduation, I know is a hot button issue too, is just the overall presentation of the city when graduation happens. So we're looking for times that are earlier than that. Local Wreath Riley is not an option, so we look for other options. One of which is another paving group out of Grand Rapids area that does pavement in the winter at about a 5 times the rate of pay or of cost of what the local Wreath Riley project would be. The local patch, we'll call it the local cost to do the patch, is somewhere in the $12,000 to $15,000 range. This other company we looked at, it was about $60,000 to do this patch. So that's a barrier for sure. Again, if you think back to when we can't even do it until mid-April. So we're looking for other options, and we're able to get some information from Wreath and Riley that their plant, they have a plant down in Grand Rapids, in Ada, I think. I don't know, it's down in Grand Rapids area, that opens 3 weeks earlier than the one here. And it sounds like they may be willing to, on the week of April 20th, is kind of the ballpark. I hate to throw out dates because they always change, but that's around when this plant in Grand Rapids would open. And they're entertaining the idea of then hauling the asphalt from their plant in Grand Rapids and then having the local group do the paving at a very almost similar cost to what it would do here. It would be some increased hauling fees, but we have a contract for them for the asphalt product through our maintenance materials. So I am more hopeful than I was that we're going to be able to do this sometime in April, but it's we're trying, and I just want to, as much as anything, relay that. And Commissioner Simmon specifically had talked to me about signage. The out Perry Avenue that would prepare folks heading into the intersection of an uneven road, and MDOT has agreed to put up those signs. I haven't seen them yet, but I think sometime this week there'll be some signage that would hopefully prepare folks to enter into that intersection. So again, I just want the public to know and the commission to know we're really looking at every option here to get this fixed, but we probably have at least another month of it, would be my guess. But maybe this milling that we're gonna do this week will help.
It wasn't I went out when the engineer from MDOT came. It wasn't unanimous to take that top off. Because they're afraid to take it off. It might create a giant sinkhole.
Yeah, Todd, maybe, I'll put him on the spot.
Oh, there's Todd. What about? The engineer, Dell's engineer.
Yeah, was worried about it.
Him.
Kyle.
Yeah. He was real worried about skimming that top off until we're ready to really roll.
As bumpy as it is, it's still providing some measure of reinforcement there. So if you skim the top off, you have the potential to have a much thinner asphalt. And as that frost comes out of the grade, it tends to pump and you could work another pothole into it. But at the point you're at right now, skim it off and
keep filling. They're out there every Monday.
I don't feel that you're any worse off by.
Yeah. Okay.
So one of the weird questions I got was, why can't the city just take cement and make concrete there and fill the holes? So what's the answer to that?
Yeah. I
know there has to be
Todd
one.
will have a better answer, but I know we did look at this, and I specifically asked for the gravel spot. But the gravel spot is really not the biggest issue. So to do the whole patch, I think it was out of the question, so to speak. But I did ask about that because we could, in theory, pour concrete tomorrow or whatever in the gravel area. But then we'd be tearing it out to put in asphalt too. So.
Granted.
Yeah.
Oh, granted.
Granite slabs, yeah, just over it.
The public is hugely concerned, as all of us are. But Ferris did not, as of right now, been really pushing us in any direction.
Right.
We asked the vice president today at a little meeting, and she said, we hope you do the best you can.
Yeah, they've just been very understanding and good to work with as always about it. But it's a hazard and a real headache that I know people are dealing with, and boy, we're trying as much as we can to try to get it fixed.
Dell was really concerned about the frost coming out of the ground, and he said it officially doesn't come out until mid-April.
Right.
He said he doesn't want us paving before mid-April. He kinda said that.
Yeah, I think that was clear, that was sort of, this is MDOT jurisdiction, right, so they have the
But
final
they're not
say.
paying because it was our water main that broke.
I asked if they would help, and I haven't heard a response. He started coughing when I asked him about it.
So the number of potholes that are all over the place, everywhere.
Oh,
And they
yeah,
are everywhere. So when did they start working on those?
Well, they've been
May?
filling in potholes.
filling
Oh,
them.
they've been filling potholes, but yeah, I think they,
Well, if they're still filling, send them down Bjornson way, would you?
yeah. And speaking of, we had, we're wrestling with some of the, final preparation stuff, getting ready to really jump into budget. City department heads' budgets are due today or this week. And one of which we were contemplating, we had in there, CIP committee recommended approving Bronson Avenue, if you remember, is a
It's a mess up that one end especially.
but we were toying with the idea of seeing exactly how bad Bjornson is. Holy
It's
smokes.
really bad.
It's terrible.
Every time Dean goes
Yeah.
down there, he says, what do
Yeah.
you think they might get to this? He never complains.
Yeah.
He just says,
We
what
have
do
to
you
tear
think?
up some of that hook in the water main for Sandy Acres.
We do. They have to do a connection out in the road, but the really bad section is back from
first part.
that. Yeah, we do need to replace a water main in there, and that's been a hang up. But I think we're gonna have to pave it before we replace it. It's terrible. It's in
Is
terrible
that what they were
shape.
doing when they dug up, like on Darwin and Bjornson?
They did some lead service work in there.
Is that what they were
recently.
doing?
Yeah.
The Sandy Acres, though, the water mains are all in, the storms are in, and the sanitary's in. They are just flying out there. They wanna start building houses in May.
And that's, Mayor, Brad had just provided us the process for road and dedication stuff that I think they're looking at doing sometime in April or May, end of April. That would come to the city commission, but yeah, they move fast. That group moves quickly and have been good to work with too. West Michigan Dirt Works was their contractor on site, and I mean, they worked through the coldest days, the worst days, they really.
Questions on anything from citizens? Anything? Anybody, any further business? Yes?
I
Where?
just wanted to say one thing. Happy birthday.
Oh, one of the commissioners is having a birthday today. And after we adjourn, then we'll sing quickly. She might not have many more, so.
The mayor would
And
know.
I remind him he's not too far behind me.
We're adjourned. Happy birthday to